What a very muggy, warm day. Whew. Been raining a few hours. I think we're done with it for now, but might storm again later, but whatever. Was that my first AOMCI? It's Antique Outboard Motor Club, whatever, AOMCI meet yesterday in Constantine, Michigan. That's what they call it, a super meet. And it was super. There was a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of great people. That video will be coming probably by next weekend at the latest. This one will be quicker because it's on my phone. I had the boat there on display. I had the whole boat there on display. I didn't put it in the water. Well, they have time slots for different types of boats. Open class is the only one I could have been in. I missed the first one. I was like, boy, people look like they're having a lot of fun just bombing their old boats around. So this Duracraft is a pretty sharp looking boat. There's nothing else like it there. I need to put this in the water. So I did. No problem. Got her in the water, had some help. Right off the water, put it on the bank. Got in, fired it up. Fired up, just like, not even a crank, just boom! Sitting there happily. I said, well, shove me off and I could go bomb her around a little bit. Try to open her up, clean her out. Got about 100 yards. I decided to give her some more throttle. We were above an idle, but it was, it was steady. It started to bog, so I backed off. I'm like, okay, no problem, it usually recovers. Well, it didn't. So, typical. Just needs to be run. Give her some more throttle, and, of course, bring it out of gear, and it just cranks. Crank, 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 crank. Like, what the heck, man? Play with the carburetor settings, crank, 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 crank. It just would not start. Paddled my sorry butt back to the freaking boat launch. I had to get towed because I was only halfway there. They said, you want a tow? I said, yes, please. Had to get towed by a Merc. That's even the worst part. That's just salt in the wound. Was up to my crotch in water, standing in the back trying to get this stupid thing to run. It would not start. It would burp a little bit with full choke. Run on maybe one cylinder, and that was it. I think it was just super flooded. You could see the gas slick in the water. It was just major flooded. So I brought her home, tail between our legs, and yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to diagnose what's going on with this old girl today. See if we can. I'm sure it's gonna fire it up, because that's the kind of luck I have. Just gonna start. Probably sit there idling happily. If not, well, then we got to do a little troubleshooting. And it'll be a much longer video. So, let me get some water in the bucket and underneath the lower unit, and we'll go from there. Be back in. Alright, I do have more water going into it, but I slowed it down. Let's see what this thing's going to do. Alright, first we're going to check for some sparky. Ooh. What if that has anything to do with it? I'm going to bet you yes. And I think I happen to have a new set of plugs. If that meet wasn't so far away today, they're doing a big ride. I'm not going to drive another hour. Yeah, that's pretty freaking nasty plugs. Let's try it. You guys are going to be my eyes. Let me know if they're sparky. I'll zoom you in here. I would be extremely surprised if there was. Alright, let's see what we see. Whoa! I forgot I left that on there. Alright, I threw in some new plugs, not the correct ones, but they will work for right now. For testing purposes, let's see if we have any fire. Negative Ghost Rider. Alright, carburetor time. Let's adjust the carburetor and see where we're at. First observation I've had right off the bat, I haven't even taken anything apart yet. This is, hope you can see it, this is awfully loose right there. The packing, I wonder if opened up a little bit. We gotta take these knobs off regardless, but oops. I gotta get some better pliers for a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if I'm blocking you. I wouldn't doubt the carburetor needs to be cleaned out. It's been a while. Actually, I've never cleaned this carburetor out, believe it or not. Whoops. Okay. So, I mean, it is very likely that it does need attention. But in the event that it doesn't, if this part right here has me concerned, that would cause it to run lean. Oh, yeah, she was way open enough. That's better. A little bit anyways, okay. So. I know it's brass, I shouldn't be messing with that with brass, but oh yeah, she's definitely tight now. Right, there's bottom, so there's O. fudge. Half, 1, half. Okay. This one should be fine. Half, 1, half. I think the packing on this one's gone, so I have to get some more of that, aren't I? Yes. See what she's gonna do. Okay, try number 5, 4, I don't know. Go for it. Get a little bit of fogging or I'll spray it into the cylinders. Okay, it's going to be really smoky. So anybody that has concerns about the environment, I suggest you change the channel now. If it fires, if it doesn't fire, you got nothing. Like that. I will admit I did get these plugs from a snowmobile that was having ignition problems, so maybe these plugs are shot. Oops, they didn't look bad. I don't have brand new ones. It did burp though. My last use I'm going to get a little bit of gas and dribble it in there, but Alright, let's try it again. That sounds a lot better, hey? It'll run on whatever you put into the cylinder, but it won't run on its own fuel. So we're going into the carburetor. and see what's going on there. I've never taken one of these apart before. This should be good. Not the airbox part anyway, so yuki dookie. Alright. Looks like we got a screw here, 2 screws here. There might be another one further down. I don't think so. And then there's a bolt right here. I'm trying not to be in your way. This is just to get the airbox assembly out of the way, which is loose. That's settling. Here, we'll get a container. I don't think this motor can breathe correctly. Maybe it sucked up something in here. Ooh. What it might have. We're gonna have to clean out this airbox, I think. That might be our problems. I'm seeing schmutz down in there. I don't know if it's supposed to be in there or not, but we're gonna find out. But this has to come off regardless. Whoa. I don't recollect taking this thing off. I don't think I did. I know they did when the motor was rebuilt, where I used to work. It was not I performing the service. Oh, it's just another screw right here. I thought it was a bolt. For anybody interested at home, this is a 56 Evinrude Lark. First year of the Lark, it's a 30 horse. Fudge. See how our needles are. That's alright. I'm going to put the knob back on this one just so we know which one's the low speed and the high speed. Ooh. I mean, the carb settings I just had it at, it should have ran if it was going to. Looking in here, I'm seeing something. I don't know, again, if it's supposed to be in there or not. It look like little balls, so maybe they're seeds or something. So it's a miracle this thing ran. Pray that we didn't suck anything into the carburetor. That would explain why it was running like dog butt. Jeez. World's longest needle. Oh yeah, that's a problem. Scores of fuel just dumped out. Here. There's thingies in there. Probably ought to not be in there. What those are, I haven't the foggiest. Some kind of seeds. Cedar tree, maybe? Just for giggles. I'm gonna see if this thing will fire up. I don't think it will. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna mess with it. There's a seed right here. Somehow there might have been some. Fuck, I bet you they did. That's why you always check for mice, friends. That's full throttle. I'm not seeing anything seed-wise. Yes, I am. Seeing some crud. Ugh. I don't know how the heck they could have gotten in there. Just scampered along the top and... Well, let's get the carburetor off and take it apart and check things out. Dang it. Been a long time since I've done one of these. Alrighty. Better look at what was in that air box, these seed things. So, in a nutshell, what I gotta do. Get a carburetor off is pretty simple. You have a pointer. I'm sorry. You have one nut there and one nut there. And the whole thing comes out. Now disconnect this. This is your timing cam, which opens the throttle. I should say it's connected to the timing cam. That little roller guy right up in there. And that, in conjunction with the mag plate, moves to keep your motor in time, because the faster you go, the more timing you need. So then, of course, plus the fuel lines. I already disconnected the choke solenoid, which is right there. That's there. So that's just one screw that comes off. This is a ground. We don't worry about that. Fuel lines are here, here, and then down in there. That's easy. This is a glass float bowl. If you take one of these off, be extremely careful you don't lose or break this. So yeah, but to get to these two bolts, they're here and here, I have to take the starter off. I have to get this guy out of the way, just to get to those two bolts, and of course get this done, but that's easy. So, I'm not going to torture you by making you watch all of my suffering. I'm just going to go do it. See you in a few minutes. Alright, so I had to take a little bit more off than I originally thought, just to access these two bolts. I had to take the starter off, the recoil off, and this thing off. I don't exactly 100% know what it is. Some kind of something. Maybe it's the relay for the choke solenoid or something. I don't know. But we do have these guys loose. Fuel line is off. there she is, one carburetor. Yeah. One of those seat things got in there. Oh my god. Oh, Lord. We gotta take that plate off. Fuck. Yeah, stupid seeds got in the reeds. I'm gonna this might be a little shaky, but we're gonna try to get her loose here. I don't want to take the whole thing off if I don't have to. You know what I mean? Oh, that ain't gonna work. I also want to preserve the gasket if I can. Alright, got all the screws out. Oh my god. Really? Dude, I hate mice or chipmunks or whatever the heck did this. The engine basically couldn't breathe. The gasket looks okay. Wow. That one right there has me concerned. So we're going to get this other part of the reed off. Go from there. Actually, might be able to do that now. I don't think there's anything holding it. Those two screws should actually be holding the reeds on themselves. Excuse me, those two nuts. And these little pucks down here should be okay. Screwdriver's too fat here. I got a small one here. Yep. Oops. Give me a minute. Alright, sorry about the shaky camera. Doesn't look bad. I have to get a better angle here. Oh. I think we're okay. I don't see anything down in there. Nothing up in there. It wouldn't have gone up in there, I don't think. So the problem was, other than the fact the engine couldn't breathe, this reed was stuck open. Whoa. Now it's closed. So that would explain why it was able to run on one, you know, partially for a hot minute. Another one over here. Stupid things. Gosh. So what had happened is we were puttering along. Sorry. So what had happened is we were puttering along. You know, boat, like I said, boat fired right up. Like, the old girl was just ready to go. I said, all right, shove me off. Gave me a good push. I put her in reverse, backed up, went forward. Okay, we're moving. It's about 100, 200 yards later. I'm like, all right, this thing's been idling enough. Let's give her some gas. So I pushed the throttle down a little bit. You know, not jammed it down, but pushed her down. And it was starting to, it sounded like it was a little bit lean. Well, duh, now. And so I backed off. You know, it did a lean sneeze, I backed right off. I'm like, okay, well, we're not ready yet, that's fine. I started putting, it's just like, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, all right, more gas, more gas. So I gave her more gas again. It took off for a second, then it just, like, that's what it did. That's exactly what it did. Just bogged and stopped. I said, crap. So I fiddled with the carb settings a little bit. Cranked it. It sounded like it wanted to go a little bit, but it just would not. Meanwhile, I am drifting downstream. There's a big dam where we were. I mean, I wasn't drifting toward the dam. I was drifting towards shore. There's definitely a current. And I said, well, crap, good thing I just got a paddle. I started paddling my butt back. And this was at 1:45. 2 o'clock was when everybody could get out on the water and bomb around or beat around, whatever, you know, around the course. I think you could have, you know, if you were outside, you could have gone upstream ways or whatever on your own throughout the day. But so I started paddling my sorry butt back, and this ain't a light boat, especially with my fat you know what in it. And finally, the guy backs out. He says, hey, need help from a friend? I said, yes, please. It's much appreciated. So he hooked on. He started going toward the weeds. He had, I think it was a Wizard, which I think is a Merc, which, like I said, adds salt to the wound. But at that point, I'm like, dude, I'm not going to paddle all the, 300 yards back to the freaking boat launch. He grabs on, and his boat just did not have... It wasn't angled the right way, because every time he took up the slack and gave it, it pulled his boat right to the weeds, right to the shore, and mine just barely started to move. So, of course, she's like, wait, is this thing made out of steel? I said, no, it's aluminum. Damn, it's heavy aluminum. I don't know. What do you want? It's a heavy boat. Nice and solid. So what happened is, I bet you when I gave her the gas is when it really sucked in those seeds. And it just choked itself out to death. That's the only thing I can come up with. I'm thinking any seeds that would have gotten into the combustion chamber, you'd think would have been just pulverized. And shot out, but hope so. I should say got into the crank there. But whatever. Looks like nothing made it past those two. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap the reeds back together. I am going to clean out the carburetor. I came this far. Might as well just do it and be done with it. It'll be interesting to see how about 20 years of maybe 15 hours of use since this thing was rebuilt. Maybe. That's a stretch. 15 or 20. See what a carburetor looks like that's been sitting for a long time. But we drained the gas every time we finished using it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let me get everything back together. I'm going to go get my 317-201 gasket sealer, reseal everything. Those gaskets are fine. Get everything back together, and then we're going to clean the carburetor. Okay, so we got the carburetor here on the bench. I have the choke solenoid off, and I got our glass bowl off here. A common problem with these things is, which isn't really a problem, is this will loosen up over time and just drop that little filter down into the bowl. Again, it's not a big deal, but and we have this little, I don't even know what this thing's made of. Probably asbestos. Whatever. Filter. Now, you probably heard me say earlier, on this up here, the low speed needle, I think it was the low speed. Anyways, the packing is loose. A lot of people I haven't really heard a great explanation of what packing is, so we're going to kind of go through that right now. here's our adjustments, our needles. They go in there and they screw in, you know, like so. Excuse me. Jesus. Yeah. Okay, so that goes in there like this. There's nothing to keep vibrations or anything holding it where you want it. So it's okay like this when it's all the way in. But you turn this out to set it to, you know, to control the air-fuel mixture into the engine. Because a carburetor is just basically a meter. It just meters the amount of air and fuel that enters the engine. That's all it is. So what holds this thing in place like that? Well, that's where this packing comes in. So these things right here. These are like nylon, not nylon, but like a fibrous washer, if you will. Made out of some kind of fiber. Again, probably asbestos. And over time, it just breaks down. You know, it's a fiber, and it breaks down. So this is the low speed, the low speed, and that was fine. And this is the high speed. As you can see, it's broken down. So what I'll have to do is I'll just have to order some new one. Might as well replace that while we're at it. The high speed had sometimes there's a washer or a packing washer with it. That was on the high speed side. So that's what the packing is. It's, like I said, just this fibrous material. And again, it just breaks down over time. So let's continue getting the carburetor part. I gotta get the choke linkage off and then the bowl. Oh, okay. The float's really, the bowl's really clean. I'm just gonna clean her up. I do need a new gasket. This one's pretty cracked. It's just from age. Float here is pretty good. I think we'll get that out, clean it out. We'll just clean out the jets, take this guy out, and just splash her for an hour or two and get her back together. Unfortunately, we can't run it today because I need new packing. But, yeah. There we go. Alright, we're back here. We're working on this 56 Lark. It's been a few weeks, of course. As with everything, projects get put on hold, you get busy at work, whatever, you know the drill. I did get the carburetor rebuilt. I bought the wrong gasket, so I had to wait for another one because I'm an idiot. So, word of the wise, be sure to verify your part numbers before you buy them on the internet. I should have looked at them in the book and I didn't. I just typed in 56 Evinrude Lark and got the first one that popped up. Dummy. So today we're going to get the carburetor back on, the recoil and everything else we took off, and hopefully we'll hear this baby run. It's been a couple weeks, but she should run. Shouldn't be an issue. Let's get started. So I apologize for the camera angle. I broke my tripod. So, sorry in advance. Alright, I'll try not to block your view too much. I apologize if I do. Like I said, the tripod broke, so we're kind of winging her here. We're hoping to get this boat out at least once next weekend. You know, in my youth, I always thought Labor Day was a day that you got to rest, not labor in the backyard or in the yard. My God. That's kind of what we got planned for next weekend for Labor Day, is to labor. Literally. Anyways, okay. This should be our airline. Let me confirm that. Yes, that is the airline. Yeah, air Goes to there, it's perfect. We confirm that. Okay, that goes there. I'm gonna hang this there for right now. That's for the choke solenoid. Okay, carburetor. We have our gasket right there, so we're good to go. See if I can get my paws to operate today. My fat paws. Uh-oh. Hey, this is a no-fly zone. Go away. I decreed that it is a no-fly zone. Hey, he's over there. Okay, he's not over the house. Actually, we've had some really cool planes fly overhead. There are a couple like B-25s and stuff. Occasionally, for going to a air show somewhere. It's pretty cool. Maybe I'm full of something. Yeah, I'm full of something that doesn't fit there. Okay. Like I said, if I'm in your way, I do sincerely apologize. Sure, somebody's screaming at me, well, why don't you go get the appropriate size wrench? Well, I could do that, but that takes too long. It's going to be a hot day today. Whew. Very warm day. Warm day indeed. Alrighty. One carburetor. Double. Fuel line is there. We're not going to put that on just yet. Okay. Let me see where we're at. Be right back. Okay, things are getting serious here, so I had to put the camera down. I apologize. For those that have to do this in the future, for these on these bigger horsepower engines, I don't know what years. Don't ask me. I used to know, but I don't anymore. They have this. Well, I know all Johnson and Evinrude have this flywheel advance cam that connects in through the carburetor. So obviously, the more that you press the gas down, the more that you press the gas down, which is here, the flywheel timing advances. See how that works? So the two are synonymous, and they're working. Obviously, the more gas you put into it, the more you need to advance the timing to make the motor spin faster. So this is how it works. Oh shoot, I'm in gear. I'm not in gear. Wait a minute. There we go. So we're at starting. That's kind of that's more idle. That's dead because the timing is really slowed or retarded. Ouch. Eaten by a fly here, sorry. So we're giving our gas, we're shifting, we're in forward, giving our gas, giving our gas, giving our gas. You see what's happening is that's opening up. Now that's as fast as you're going to be going. Obviously you could get a little bit more turn, but that's as much as that turns. So in order for those two to work in conjunction, this part, like I said, this part here, the cam part, goes into this linkage here, which is connected to the flywheel advancing cam. I'm going to adjust that screw because that might give us a little bit more. No, it will not give us any more. That's supposed to slide across there. Never mind. Take it back. So anyway, so that's how that works. So we're going to get our little plastic clip back in here, get this hooked up. That has a washer and a cotter pin, which is up there. And that's as far as we can go, because then this hooks into the recoil, so that way you can't shift it while, it's a neutral safety switch type thing. It's all mechanical. That's the cool thing about this. It's all mechanical. So, okay, let's keep going. Get this in, get that in, away we go. Ouch. It's delicate precision surgery. Doctor, you've done it. Alright, that's good enough for that. I've got that. Additionally, there is a small spring. So what we're doing is getting our little plastic guide there. That kind of helps to hold that. And we probably need to rotate it to allow the wire to, go through. There we go. Now, your very secure setup here. Piece of wire. Hey, you know what? It's worked for, what was it, 70 years? 1956 to 2016. Be 70, right? So plus a couple extra. Oh. This is where it's nice to not have pause like I do, unfortunately. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I know this is a bad angle for light. Okay, so now that we've got our guide pin and the wire back in, there's no slop in the system. Oops, a little catch there, but that's easy. There we go, and that's screaming fast. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, yeah, not really, but it's scooting pretty good through the water. So there we go. That's in. Let's get the thing that mounts here back in. Sorry, allergies are really bad. We have a fuel line to put on right now. We're going to do that first, and then we'll get our other thing hooked in here. That's vacuum powered. I think it's like a... I don't know what it is, actually. I still couldn't figure it out. And the starter goes on the other side. We'll have to hook this guy back up. This is for our choke solenoid. I have to do that. Actually, we're going to do starter first, and we're going to start on that side and work our way this way. So stay tuned. Okay. This goes on the other side, of course. I'm going to fish it through that wire down there. Starter motor is on like that. Were these slotted? There's 4 of them, so that would indicate starter. I concur. Glad we came up with that decision. Glad we all arrived at that same conclusion. Get one started here. Okay. Flies are biting. Nice. That's always very pleasant. this thing fighting me this much coming out of there. Go get a ratchet. Be right back. I could have gotten a little bigger screwdriver. Oh well. Train? Question mark? Oh yeah, there you go. He mad now. The wind is coming out of the kind of out of the east today. That's why the sound is different than we're used to. I am used to. We got some weather coming in later. Well, much later today. So these are not the correct screws for this side. That one is. This one is not. Shoot. Alright, be right back. I gotta find a place so I remember where I would put them, where I put them in the socket set. At least I found them. Oh, cross-threaded, you dingus. There we go. Okay, one starter installed. Now, our next plan, or not plan, but our next challenge will be on the other side for this wire. Okay, let's go. Alright, so this guy goes right there. Oh, sorry. Holy crap. I thought you guys were dead. Isn't that gonna work? Just a moment, please. Forgive the camera angle. This might be one of those you take my word for it. Yeah, be right back. Alrighty, I got the fuel line here hooked up. This vacuum line. Maybe somebody can tell me what this is, and I feel embarrassed for asking. It's almost like some kind of thermostat. Not a thermostat, but just some kind of relay. Whatever. I got that hooked in, so all we got to do is slap her back up in there like so. And we'll get our air box on. And we are... Oh, and recoil. And we're just about ready to hear this thing purr again, I hope and pray. So... be right back. Okay, we're getting really close now. I got the air box on, figured I'd spray the boredom. Carburetor is synced up. Yeah, air box is on, we just gotta do recoil and hook the battery back up. We are ready to rumble. Stay tuned. Alive! Well, there we go. We're a runner. I got to dial in the carb on the water. I can only do so much here, but at least she fired right up. The old Duracraft, the old 56 Lark, rides again. I do have water running into the bucket, so whatever's sloshing out is getting replenished. There we go, guys. Hopefully next weekend you'll see a video about this old girl on the river. We'll see. Thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, and thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it, guys. Catch you on the next one.